Hi, I'm Callie. 2 months ago, I was scheduled for a pretty serious spinal surgery. The kind where they actually tell you all the risks beforehand because they legally have to. The kind where you're supposed to wake up with your family holding your hand, not alone in a recovery room with only beeping machines for company. Callie, you're waking up. How are you feeling? Dr. Evans leaned over me, her clipboard clutched to her chest. Groggy. Where's my mom? Dad? I mumbled, my throat dry. Dr. Evans hesitated, glancing at the empty chairs beside my bed. I'm sure they'll be here soon. The surgery went well. We were able to correct the curvature completely. What time is it? I asked, a knot forming in my stomach. It's just after 4. 4? But they knew. They knew I'd be out by 2. The heart rate monitor started beeping faster. Try to stay calm, Callie. Your body needs to recover. Can you call them? My voice cracked. Nurse Bennett already tried. No answer from either of your parents' phones. I closed my eyes, fighting back tears. This wasn't the first time, but it was definitely the worst. Hey, kiddo, you're awake. Nurse Bennett walked in. Want some ice chips for that throat? Yes, please, I whispered. Have you heard anything? Not yet, honey. But I'm sure there's an explanation. My phone buzzed. Dr. Evans handed it to me with a sympathetic smile. Taylor, how'd the surgery go? Are you okay? Me. Surgery fine. No family here. Taylor. What? Where are they? Me. Don't know. No one's answering. Taylor. Want me to come? Me. Visiting hours over soon. Tomorrow? Taylor. First thing. Promise. That's so wrong, Cal. As I set my phone down, Nurse Bennett returned with a tray of hospital food. Dr. Evans, I said after a moment. This isn't normal, right? For parents to miss this? She hesitated, choosing her words carefully. No, Callie, it's not typical. Just then, my phone lit up with a text from my sister Mia. Mia. OMG, Callie, I won! First place. Everyone loved my dance. Mom and Dad are taking me for celebratory dinner. How's your thing? My stomach dropped. My thing. My spinal surgery was my thing. Callie, what is it? Dr. Evans asked. I handed her my phone wordlessly. Dr. Evans read the text. I see, she said tightly. They chose Mia's talent show, I whispered. They chose to watch my sister dance instead of being here when I woke up from having my spine cut open. Nurse Bennett returned. Your aunt is on her way. She had no idea you were having surgery today. They didn't tell her, I said flatly. No, honey. She was pretty upset. I nodded, a strange calm settling over me. Dr. Evans, would you mind writing down exactly what time I woke up from anesthesia? And that no family was present? Of course, she replied. May I ask why? Because, I said, my voice steadier than I expected. I think it's time someone held my parents accountable. You're telling me they knew about this surgery for months? Aunt Layla paced my hospital room the next morning. Scheduled it at the beginning of the school year, I confirmed. Mom signed all the consent forms. Dad took the day off work. At least he said he did. And neither of them thought to mention it to me? Your designated emergency contact? Dr. Evans knocked on the door. Callie, how's your pain level this morning? About a 6, I admitted. I'll get you something for that. And you must be the aunt? Layla Markson. And you're the doctor who was here when my niece woke up alone from major surgery? Dr. Amanda Evans. And yes, unfortunately, that's correct. Would you be willing to provide a statement about that? Aunt Layla, I started. It's not right, Callie, she cut me off. And I suspect it's not the first time, is it? Taylor appeared in the doorway, clutching a giant teddy bear. Hey, superstar! Whoa, full room! Taylor, I grinned. Meet my Aunt Layla and Dr. Evans. So, still no parents? They'll probably show up this afternoon, I sighed. Act like nothing happened. Like they did after your academic awards ceremony? Taylor reminded me. Aunt Layla stopped pacing. What academic awards ceremony? The one where I received the Henderson Scholarship. They missed it for Mia's dance recital dress rehearsal. And your 16th birthday, Taylor added. And the time you had that allergic reaction at school, said Nurse Bennett, entering with medication. How do you know about that? I asked. It's in your medical records. Your school nurse brought you to the ER. Your parents didn't arrive until 4 hours later. Aunt Layla sat heavily. Callie, this is a pattern of neglect. They're not neglectful, I defended, then paused. They just prioritize differently. They prioritize Mia, Taylor said bluntly. Always have. My phone buzzed. Mom, finally. Hello? I answered, putting it on speaker. Callie, honey, how are you feeling? We're on our way now. Surgery was yesterday, Mom. I know, sweetie, but Mia's performance ran late, and then there was the award ceremony and dinner with the dance families. You understand, right? It was her big moment. And my surgery was mine, I replied evenly. Don't be dramatic, Callie. My dad's voice came through. The doctors were taking care of you. It's not like you were alone. Except I was, I said. When I woke up, I was alone. Well, we're coming now, Mom said brightly. And guess what? Mia got a special recognition award. Aunt Layla leaned toward the phone. Sandra, it's Layla. Why wasn't I informed about Callie's surgery? A pause. Layla, what are you doing there? Being the family Callie needed yesterday. We had it handled, Dad said stiffly. Really? Because from where I'm sitting, Robert, you abandoned your child during a major medical procedure. Now listen here. No, you listen, Aunt Layla cut in. This isn't the first time you've prioritized one daughter over the other, is it? We're her parents, Mom snapped. We decide what's best. And what's best was letting her wake up alone from spinal surgery? Taylor interjected. Who is that? Dad demanded. Taylor, sir, Callie's friend. The one who would have been here yesterday if visiting hours hadn't ended? We'll be there in 20 minutes, Dad finally said. And we'll discuss this as a family, without outsiders. The call ended. Callie, Aunt Layla said, taking my hand, would you consider coming to stay with me for a while after your recovery? I looked at her, then at Taylor, then at the empty chairs where my parents should have been yesterday. I think, I said slowly, I might consider more than just a visit. My parents arrived with Mia in tow. Mom carried a wilting bouquet, while Mia scrolled through her phone, barely glancing up. There's our brave girl, Mom exclaimed, leaning in to kiss my forehead. I turned my head slightly. Oh, don't be like that, Callie. Dad stood at the foot of my bed, arms crossed. I see you've created quite the scene in our absence. Robert, Aunt Layla warned. This is a family matter, Layla, he replied coldly. Then act like a family, she shot back. Mia finally looked up from her phone. Why is everyone so dramatic? It's just surgery. It's not like she remembers being alone anyway. Except I do remember, I said quietly. I remember waking up and looking for you. All of you. We had a commitment, Dad stated firmly. Mia's talent show was scheduled months ago. So was my surgery, I countered. Scheduled first, actually. Well, we couldn't be in two places at once, Mom said, and Mia needed our support. And I didn't? My voice cracked slightly. You're stronger, Callie, Mom replied. You've always been independent. No, I shook my head. I've had to be independent. There's a difference. See? This is exactly the kind of attention-seeking behavior we've talked about, Dad said to Mom. Always competing with her sister. Competing? I laughed incredulously. When have I ever competed with Mia? When have you ever let me... What's that supposed to mean? Mia demanded. It means, Taylor interjected, that your parents cancel on Callie every time you have so much as a hiccup. Stay out of this, Dad warned. No, I don't think I will, Taylor replied. Someone needs to point out how messed up this is. Robert, Sandra, Aunt Layla said evenly. Callie has told me this isn't an isolated incident. The missed birthday, the academic ceremony, the allergic reaction. Ancient history, Dad dismissed. It was last month, I said. My birthday was last month? And we celebrated the weekend after, Mom countered, with Mia's favorite restaurant and cake. Because it was more convenient to combine with her dance team dinner? You never said you minded, Mia protested. Would it have mattered if I had? I asked her directly. Her silence was answer enough. I want to go live with Aunt Layla, I stated flatly. Don't be ridiculous, Dad scoffed. You're 16. You live with your parents. Unless those parents are demonstrating a pattern of emotional neglect, Dr. Evans said, entering with a folder. Excuse me? Mom's voice rose an octave. I've documented yesterday's events, Dr. Evans continued professionally, including the timestamp of Callie's emergence from anesthesia, the multiple attempts to contact you, and your daughter's text revealing your whereabouts. Are you threatening us? Dad's face reddened. I'm informing you of medical documentation. What exactly are you suggesting, Layla? Mom turned to her sister-in-law. I'm suggesting that Callie deserves to live somewhere she's a priority. I've spoken with a family attorney this morning. You're trying to take our daughter. Dad's voice rose dangerously. Your daughter, who you couldn't be bothered to visit in the hospital? Taylor shot back. That's it! Dad pointed at Taylor. You need to leave. Now. She stays, I insisted. She's been more family to me than you have. Callie Josephine Bennett! Mom gasped. You do not speak to your father that way. Why not? He speaks to me like I'm an inconvenience all the time. We have given you everything, Dad growled. A good home, education, opportunities. But not your time, I interrupted. Never your equal attention. This is absurd, he sputtered. Layla, you've poisoned her against us. No, Aunt Layla replied calmly. You did that all on your own. If you pursue this ridiculous custody idea, Dad threatened, you'll regret it. Is that a threat, Robert? Aunt Layla stood, matching his stance. It's a promise. Well then, she said, pulling out her phone. I think we should let my attorney know we'll need to expedite the filing. You can't be serious, Mom whispered. I've never been more serious, I said. I want to live with someone who shows up. All rise, the bailiff announced, as Judge Harriman entered the courtroom. 6 weeks had passed since my surgery. My parents sat at one table with their attorney, Miss Frost. Aunt Layla and I sat at the other with Mr. Delaney, a family court specialist. Please be seated, Judge Harriman said. This is case number JV 2020-47,632, a petition for temporary guardianship of minor Callie Bennett. She looked at me. Miss Bennett, you're 16, correct? Yes, Your Honor. And you've initiated this petition along with your aunt? I have. Your Honor, Miss Frost interjected. My clients object to this entire proceeding. They are loving parents who have provided excellently for their daughter. Materially, perhaps, Mr. Delaney countered. The evidence shows a consistent pattern of emotional neglect. 1 missed surgery. 5 documented incidents, Mr. Delaney corrected, including absence during a severe allergic reaction that required hospitalization. Judge Harriman held up her hand. What I'd like to hear now is from Callie directly. I straightened in my chair. What would you like to know, Your Honor? Why do you want to live with your aunt instead of your parents? Because with Aunt Layla, I know I matter. With my parents, I'm always second place to my sister Mia. They've never missed any of her events, but they've missed nearly all of mine. Children often feel, my mother began. Mrs. Bennett, you'll have your turn, Judge Harriman warned. Callie, continue. The day of my surgery was just the final straw, I explained. They chose to attend Mia's talent show instead of being there when I woke up. We made a parenting decision, my father insisted. We can't be everywhere at once. Mr. Bennett, the judge said firmly, your turn will come. In the 6 weeks since my surgery, they visited me at Aunt Layla's twice in 6 weeks. They call it giving me space. But Mia told me they've been busy with her dance competition season. The proceedings continued for another hour, with testimonies from Dr. Evans, my school counselor, and Taylor. Finally, Judge Harriman removed her glasses. I am granting temporary guardianship to Layla Markson for a period of 6 months. during which the Bennetts will participate in family counseling if they wish to petition for a return to their custody. She looked directly at my parents. Mr. and Mrs. Bennett, this court takes emotional neglect as seriously as physical neglect. Children need presence, not just provisions. Outside the courthouse, my parents approached as Aunt Layla and I were talking with Taylor. "Callie," Mom said tentatively, "can we talk for a moment?" "I think we've said everything in court," I replied. "We still love you," she insisted. "This is just a misunderstanding." "No, Mom. A misunderstanding is forgetting to pick someone up from practice. This was a choice, multiple choices." "We want to fix this," Dad said, his usual authority replaced with uncertainty. "Maybe someday," I conceded, "but not today." "Will you at least come to Mia's recital next weekend?" Mom asked. "As a family?" I looked at her in disbelief. "Do you even hear yourself? Still prioritizing Mia's events after everything that just happened?" "That's not fair," Dad protested. "No," I agreed. "It wasn't fair. For years it wasn't fair." Taylor squeezed my arm supportively. "Callie," Aunt Layla said gently, "we should go if we want to make your physical therapy appointment." I nodded, turning away from my parents. "Taylor still on for movie night?" "Absolutely," my friend grinned. "My mom's making her famous nachos." As we walked to Aunt Layla's car, I heard my mother call after me. "This isn't over, Callie." I didn't turn around. For the first time in my life, I was walking toward something instead of away from someone. Toward a home where I wouldn't have to compete for attention or wonder if I mattered. "You okay?" Aunt Layla asked as we pulled away. "Yeah," I said. "I actually am." "What are you thinking about?" She pressed gently. "I'm thinking that sometimes the best revenge isn't making someone else suffer. It's refusing to suffer anymore yourself. Have you ever had to choose yourself when no one else would? I'd love to hear your stories in the comments."